Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by endless emerald forests and rivers that sparkled like liquid crystal under the sun, there lived a royal family beloved by all. King Alaric and Queen Seraphina were wise and kind rulers, and together they had 11 children, 10 sons, each brave and talented in his own way, and a daughter named Princess Isolde, whose beauty and spirit were known far and wide. Her hair was like spun gold, and her eyes reflected the skies themselves, full of curiosity, courage, and warmth. Isolde shared an unbreakable bond with her brothers. Each day, they would run across the palace gardens, climb the ancient towers, and play by the crystal lakes, laughing together like the purest music. Though her brothers were fierce and skilled warriors in training, they were gentle with her, and she was their light, their little queen of joy. One fateful day, during the festival of the twin moons, when lanterns floated into the sky and the air shimmered with magic, a mysterious sorceress arrived in the kingdom. She had hair as black as a raven's wing, and eyes that glimmered with both sorrow and menace. Approaching the royal family under the guise of seeking peace, she whispered a prophecy. "The youngest princess holds a destiny far greater than any of you can imagine, yet shadows from afar will seek her, and only courage, unity, and unwavering love shall bring her home." Though King Alaric and Queen Seraphina thanked her politely, the sorceress vanished into the night, leaving behind a chill that whispered of danger. The princess and her brothers felt an unease that grew with each passing day. Weeks later, the threat became reality. A dark storm rose suddenly over the palace, black clouds churning and lightning streaking like furious dragons across the sky. Amid the chaos, a shadowy figure slipped into the princess's chamber. Before anyone could react, Isolde was taken, vanishing into the swirling tempest, leaving only a golden hairpin she always wore. The kingdom was thrown into despair. Her brothers, 10 in number and fierce in their resolve, vowed to bring her home. Each brother had his own talent: Roland, the eldest, a master swordsman; Thaddeus, the strategist; Galen, the healer; Finian, the archer; Lysander, the knight of the skies who rode falcons; Dorian, the scholar and keeper of secrets; Adrian, the strong man with unmatched courage; Caspian, the musician whose songs could soothe beasts; Emery, the tracker who could follow even the faintest trail; and finally, Tristan, the youngest, whose cleverness rivaled any magician. Together, they swore an oath under the shattered moonlight that they would not rest until their sister was returned. Their journey led them far beyond the safety of their kingdom. They crossed mountains that touched the heavens, forests where trees whispered forgotten secrets, and deserts that burned with silver sand under an unforgiving sun. They faced creatures of nightmare and legend, shadow wolves that vanished into mist, serpents with eyes of fire, and spirits that tested the purity of their hearts. Each challenge, each peril, only strengthened their resolve, for not a single brother would allow despair to claim their beloved sister. Meanwhile, Princess Isolde was not idle. The sorceress who had taken her revealed herself not as evil but as misunderstood. Her name was Morganna, and her heart was heavy with a sorrow so old it had turned to bitterness. She was cursed to live alone in the Shadowlands, and she sought to see if Isolde could wield the courage and compassion needed to break the darkness that bound her. Morganna placed the princess in a castle of mirrors, a labyrinth that reflected both one's fears and desires. Isolde, though scared, refused to despair. She wandered the endless corridors, each reflection showing her fears of never returning home and her brothers weeping for her. Yet with each step, she learned to harness her own strength, to speak words of truth to the shadows that haunted her, and to light even the darkest halls with the warmth of hope. She discovered hidden doors and whispered spells, unlocking secrets Morganna had left behind for her. Back in the mortal lands, the brothers faced their own trials. They encountered villages abandoned by plague, dragons that hoarded treasures and riddles alike, and ancient guardians who tested their heart's purity. But together, their unity was a force unmatched. When Roland's sword alone could not cut a magical barrier, it was Thaddeus's strategy that guided them. When Galen's healing could not revive a wounded comrade, Finian's arrows illuminated the path to safety. When Lysander's falcon flight seemed futile, Dorian's knowledge of forgotten maps revealed hidden passages. One by one, they overcame impossible odds, their love for Isolde driving them past exhaustion and fear. Finally, after months of peril, they reached the edge of the Shadowlands, a realm where the sun dared not shine. The gates were guarded by a giant serpent with scales of molten silver, whose eyes reflected one's deepest regrets. One by one, the brothers stepped forward, offering words of courage and truth. Tristan, clever and quick-witted, solved the serpent's riddles, and the gates opened with a sound like thunder rolling over mountains. Inside, the labyrinth awaited. Isolde had learned to navigate it by the light of her courage and compassion. At the heart of the mirrored castle, she found Morganna. The sorceress, seeing the bravery and purity in the princess, began to weep. "You are not only brave," she said, her voice shaking like autumn leaves, "but you carry love so strong that it can free the hearts of those long trapped in darkness." Isolde stepped forward, speaking words of forgiveness and understanding. She reached out her hand, and Morganna, for the first time in centuries, felt warmth and hope flow through her. The curse lifted with a brilliant light that tore through the labyrinth and bathed the Shadowlands in golden sun. Morganna's heart healed, and with it, the world itself began to breathe again. At that moment, the brothers arrived. Seeing their sister unharmed, their hearts leapt with joy. They embraced, one by one, tears streaming down faces that had been hardened by worry and adventure. Morganna bowed before them, grateful and free, promising that the bond of love they had shown would forever protect both worlds. The journey home was triumphant. The rivers seemed to sing their return, the forests danced with the wind, and the people of the kingdom rejoiced at the return of Princess Isolde. The brothers, though weary, walked with pride, knowing that their love, courage, and unity had overcome darkness itself. In the years that followed, Princess Isolde became a queen not by crown alone but by the wisdom, compassion, and courage she had nurtured in the labyrinth of mirrors. Her brothers, her protectors and friends, continued to guard the kingdom with hearts as brave as ever. The tale of the lost princess and her 10 devoted brothers became legend, a story whispered to children under starlit skies, a tale that spoke of love, unity, courage, and the magic that blooms when hearts remain steadfast. And thus, the kingdom of Everdawn flourished, bathed in light and song, its people forever inspired by the bravery of a princess who never gave up and brothers who would cross any horizon to bring her home.